as tear gas lingered in hazy columns around the enthralled faces of students on the usually peaceful campus of UCLA, it wasn't just the acrid smoke that made bystanders weep. The recent confrontation between pro-Palestinian protesters and Israel supporters unfolded not just as a clash of chants and placards, but as a poignant illustration of a deeply entrenched global conflict infiltrating academic spaces. At the heart of this turmoil is not merely a local student protest, but a microcosm of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, resounding its echoes across continents, right into these university precincts. The pro-Palestinian movement at UCLA didn't emerge in a vacuum. It's a ripple effect of decades-long geopolitical strife between Israel and Palestine, ingrained with a history of loss, violation of human rights, and territorial disputes. At its core, the struggle is about land claimed by both Jews and Arabs, but over time, each incident of violence, each settlement expansion, and each international declaration has added layers of complexity to this enduring conflict. The fervent voices on campus, therefore, echo a narrative fed by historical events, nuanced by the individual stances of the protesters, who often feel a personal connection to the conflict, whether through heritage, religion, or ideological commitment. As students brandish flags and slogans, the university's corridors reverberate with the same fervor found in the streets of Gaza or the hills of West Bank, albeit filtered through the lens of academic liberty and youthful activism. The gravity of these protests at UCLA can only be fully appreciated within the context of past events. For instance, the reverberations of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, the 1967 Six-Day War, and more contemporary issues like the 2020 Abraham Accords shape both the sentiments and the rhetoric of today's student protesters. These historical aspects outline the depth and endurance of this conflict, highlighting how distant geopolitical events can manifest within the bounds of a university campus. As clashes intensified, the narrative spun by each side became a vital lens through which this event was perceived. Pro-Palestinian students voiced concerns over what they see as systemic injustices against Palestinians, including issues like the blockade of Gaza and Israeli settlement policies. On the flip side, supporting Israel groups argued for the recognition of Israel's right to exist and defend itself against what they perceive as aggression and terrorism. Personal accounts from the protest capture a spectrum of emotions and perspectives. Maya, a third-year sociology student and pro-Palestinian activist, shared, "We're here not just to protest, we're here to inform, to educate. It's about showing solidarity with the oppressed." Conversely, Eli, a graduate student and member of a pro-Israel advocacy group, stated, "It's about ensuring people understand that Israel is constantly under threat, and what we advocate is merely survival." The dichotomy of narratives at UCLA mirrors the global debate on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, characterized by a complex interplay of historical grievances, national identity, and existential anxieties. These personal stories from the UCLA protest shed light on the broader implications of delivering such narratives in an educative environment, where activism intertwines with learning. The collision between pro-Palestinian protesters and Israel supporters at UCLA raises significant questions about the role of universities as arenas for political debate and activism. Academia is traditionally viewed as a sanctuary of free thought and expression. Yet when such freedoms translate into volatile confrontations, the foundational values of educational institutions are tested. Universities around the world have increasingly become microcosms of larger societal disputes, reflecting geopolitical tensions within academic communities. The events at UCLA underscore the challenges and responsibilities facing educational institutions in navigating these divisive waters. It brings to the forefront the need for policies that not only protect free expression, but also ensure that such expressions do not escalate into violence. Academic institutions stand at the crossroads of education and societal values, tasked with the dual duties of fostering informed, respectful discourse and safeguarding the well-being of their communities. The UCLA incident offers a case study in the delicate balance required to manage these roles effectively, highlighting the pressing need for strategic frameworks that guide campus politics and civic engagement.